Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So, this is another Huda Beauty Obsessions 2 looks 1 palette video. I have said that I'm not buying any more unless she comes out with more interesting ones. Then she came out with neon ones, so I mean it just kind of went from there. Now I've started with the neon green palette, mostly because it's my least favourite. Yeah, I know, neon green, I know. It should be my favourite, but it's not. It's just the colour choices that I'm not a big fan of. Like, you're gonna do a neon green palette, you do a neon green palette. There is like one neon green, one kind of chartreusey colour, and one pastel green, and the rest, there's a coral, which I understand because it kind of complements the greens. The rest are kind of like duochromes, shimmers, kind of shimmers that don't always match. They do go to a point if you really work with it, but I just feel like someone who's not going to be as adventurous with their colour choices won't use a lot of colours in this palette, if that makes sense. Another thing as well about this palette is, and some of the other ones as well from what I've swatched, this is the only one I've actually used, the other ones I've only swatched, so I will give another review for each one of those in the beginning of each of those videos. But let's just start with this one. The shimmers aren't my favourite either. The matte's beautiful, blend amazing, so pigmented as you can see, but the shimmers, especially like this one, this one, this one, and this one, these two are fine. This one actually is quite flaky, and this one's quite flaky. I've got the lighter one on my inner corner and the rusty one on my lower lash line. They're just a bit more flaky, so you do have to either use a glitter glue, spray your brush, blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff. And the other three, they just kind of, you have to really mash your finger in there, and it doesn't feel like it coats it as much. Like, it's very pigmented, but it doesn't feel like there's a lot of actual product there, if that makes sense. They're not like a foiled kind of effect when they go on, like her shimmers have been previously. This one up here is probably my favourite shimmer in the palette. It's what I've got on my lid right now. I've also got the 2 greens on right now as well, which you'll see in the first look. But yeah, it's just not my favourite palette. I will be ranking all my palettes, hopefully, we'll see, maybe, and just see what I think of them. I don't know, I was just, this was also one I wasn't going to buy, because when I seen the colour story I was like, oh, it's a bit, then I swatched it and I was like, okay, let's buy it, whatever. I was buying the other 2 anyway. I was definitely buying those 2, so I love the colour stories now, so I love the colour stories in both of those. But this one I was just like, you're gonna go neon green, just go neon green, go all green, go green, yellow and coral, something like that, you know what I mean? Make it a bit interesting. But yes, excuse my rant, excuse all of whatever. Just wanted to let you know how I really felt about the palette. Shimmers, not my favourite, but yeah, let's get on to swatches of this palette. Okay, so I've just moved in slightly. We're going to do like normal swatches on my arm just so you can see them, and we're going to go this way across, and yeah, let's just get into it. So there is 3 mattes and the rest are shimmers. I feel like there could have been 1 or 2 more mattes, a matte, darker matte green, or a matte peach or something like that, just something else. But let's start up here with this pale pastel green. Comes out amazingly. The mattes I love in this palette. I do actually really like the mattes in this, so let's just see how this looks. Like, it's a light green, do you know what I mean? It's not gonna be in your face straight away, but it's a great blending colour. You'll see when I do this look, it just goes on so quick and so easy. The next one is the shimmery chartreuse in the middle, probably my favourite along with the other green, the more neon green. Those would be my favourites. So this one is here. Now this goes on amazingly. I feel like with the shimmers in this sort of palette, you need a glitter glue underneath it, but with this one I didn't. So with the other ones I feel like I'm going to need a glitter glue, which I'll probably do in the next look, the second look. But with this one I was like, I'll just try it and see, and I didn't need to, so yeah, that is him there. The next one then is the lime green, which I love. It's so bright, particularly when you put it on the actual eye. It's so bright. This is the colour that made me buy the palette. This is what convinced me. So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. There should have been more colours like this. Okay, so moving on to some shimmers. So we're going to start with this one here. Now these two, very similar, but we'll talk about them once I've got them both swatched. So let's get them on. You can see how much I'm going in. Like they do work, do you know what I mean? I'm not saying that they don't work. You just have to work more with them. So it's up to yourself whether you want that kind of thing. Be very careful with some of them, like this next one, the white duochrome, kind of whitey green duochrome. Don't mash too hard in it. When I went in my brush I nearly scooped half of it out. But it is a gorgeous inner corner highlight to go with all these colours. Like even that little colour scheme is lovely. So it is a nice palette. I'm not saying it's a bad palette, I'm just saying you just have to work more with it. The last one is this bluey kind of royal blue kind of colour. It's kind of like a dark purple base with a blue shimmer. Bit of a weird one. I don't know why this is in this palette, but it's a lovely colour. Just don't really get it. And then the next one is what I have on my lower lash line here. It's this kind of rusty pink sort of shade. Again, this is quite a flaky one. Some of these shimmers now will be better applied with your finger, which I found to be the case. Like this one here would definitely apply better with your finger. I was using it on my lower lash line, so I had to use it with a brush, so I just had to deal with it. But it's gorgeous. It's a really, really nice kind of fiery looking colour. Very nice. The next one is the matte coral, which you will see in the second look. Beautiful coral, lovely pigment, lovely tone as well. I really like the tone of it. And then the last one is this one here on the corner. This one is gorgeous as well. So that is this one. It's like a pink base with a green shift to it, which I feel like they've done in their gemstone palette, the actual gemstone palette, not the gemstones palette. The gemstone palette on its own, out of the first release that they did. I feel like there's a colour very similar to this one and this one in it. But let's just, I'm going to just have a little look at these two here, just so I can see how similar they actually are. Okay, so yeah, they're not that similar. They look so similar when they're in the palette. When you kind of put them on your finger, they're very similar. But this one here is more of a peach with a kind of a gold and purple fleck through it, and then this one is definitely a pink with a green fleck through it. So I can see why this is in the palette with these kind of colours, because it's got the green kind of reflex of it. It's a pretty cool colour to have with them. The only one I just don't understand in the palette is this one, and I also just wish there was like one or two more, like maybe even this one. I would get rid of maybe those two and put in two more greens of sorts. Better be a dark one, a like really, really dark one, and then like maybe, I don't know. It's a weird colour scheme. It's weird, but I do like it and the palette works. It's just not my favourite palette of the palettes, and yeah, that's kind of it. I'm kind of sad that I don't like the green one. Like, not that I don't like the green one, I do like the green one. That's my least favourite because green is my favourite colour. So it's just, that's just the way it is. I think they could do another green palette, maybe a pastel green palette or something like that, just so that they can, I don't know, do something else with it, because I would love to see more greens, because the emerald palette is beautiful, beautiful, but there's no shocking greens in it, where this one has that shocking green. Just doesn't really have much else to it. Yeah, so that's kind of how I feel about the palette. So these are your swatches. This is the first look. If you want to see how to get this look and one more look, then keep on watching. Alrighty, so let's get into this. This is the first in the two looks for the neon green Huda Obsessions palette. You would have already seen my little review at the beginning, but this is actually my first time properly wearing it. So yeah, I've swatched it loads and all that kind of stuff, and I have a lot of thoughts on particularly the shimmers. Not just in this palette, in all the palettes as far as I'm aware. So we'll see how they actually perform on the eye. I do have glitter glue here just in case I need it, because I do have a feeling I might need it, and I do actually have to go to work after I film this, so I do actually have to look presentable to the world, so I can't just see how it looks. I have to actually make it work. So yeah, this is our little colour scheme. It's an odd colour scheme for a neon green palette, but I can kind of see why these are very complementary colours to the greens on top, the shimmers in them, the duochromes. They're all kind of complementary to the green, so I can kind of see why. But we are gonna go for the entire top row, the neon greens of the neon green palette, and this guy down in the corner here for a little bit of pop underneath my lower lash line. I have already got my foundation on. I have used the MAC Waterway foundation. I have got my brow on. I've used the MAC Shape and Shade Brow Tint in the shade Fling. And I've got my eyeshadow primer on, and this is Urban Decay's Primer Potion. And yeah, let's just get into it. Okay, so the first shade we're going to start with is the paler pastel kind of green. And I'm going to take that on my Inglot 6SS brush, my big fluffy, and yeah, we're going to just pop this into the crease. Now the mattes in this are very, very soft. They're not chalky as far as I can see. Colours like this will appear to be chalky, but I mean chalky as in they don't go on chalky. This kind of colour has a lot of white in it, so it can look chalky because of the white. But it's actually not once it's applying. They build up very, very nicely, so I do really, really like the mattes in this palette. This one blends out very, very easy. So I've just applied it to my outer corner. I'm bringing it all the way in to my inner crease, and we're just building and building and building. Okay, and then moving on, I'm taking my MAC 221 brush, which is a smaller blending brush, and I'm going to take the lime green up here, the neon green. What I will say is there's no dark colours in, like, even this one here is just a shimmer. It's not actually gonna darken anything, so you're not gonna get a dark look with any of these. You'll have to pair them with other colours or other palettes or other shadows, or add a shadow in or something like that, like a dark green if you wanted to really deepen this sort of look. It's so bright though. Oh, it's so nice. And what we're gonna do with this now is just take this to the very outer corner first. This is going to be like the star of the show, really. It's so bright. And it'll just blend effortlessly into that first green because they're almost the same shade. It's just that the other one is more pastel and this is more neon. I say almost the same shade, they're not really almost the same shade. I'm just going to build that up slowly and bring it around, deepen the crease. And then I'm going back in with whatever's left on my 6SS and just blend out the edge. Make sure it's all nice and soft. You'll see more definition when I put the shimmer on the lid because it'll be a contrast in the textures and give a bit more depth to the eye. But for right now, it's looking kind of all the one. Okay, so now that we look like we're going to glow in the dark, which I don't know if these do. They could, I'm not sure. The next shade we're going to take is the middle one. This is like a nice chartreusey kind of colour. It's just kind of like a bit more yellow, but it still has like a green sort of tone to it, and it's very shimmery. So we'll just see how this goes with the brush, and if not, I'm going to pop some glitter primer on. I know with some of the other duochrome ones, like the lighter pinky ones, they will definitely need a glitter glue. You'll probably see that in the next look if I do use one or not. Actually, this is going on fine. I'm using an e.l.f. concealer brush. This is a synthetic flat brush, so it's just going to press. It's not really going to take up much colour back off the eye. But definitely press. Really get it on there. Do it in little sections if you can, just so you can really press that colour in. Okay, so now it's already looking a bit more defined because you've got a little bit of shimmer. It gives a bit more dimension to the eyes. I just brought the shimmer up as far as the green. I'm not really doing a crease or anything like that because they kind of all just really nicely blend into each other, and just give you that little bit of difference between them. So the next shade we're gonna go with is this one down here. It's kind of like a rusty kind of pink sort of shade. I'm gonna take this on a 214 brush from MAC, a little smudgy brush, and we're just gonna apply this to the lower lash line. I'm probably going to get fallout from this because it's that kind of flaky sort of shimmer, which I don't mind. It doesn't really bother me too much. Just really tap your brush off and it might help. We'll see. And we're just going to wiggle that, like smush it into the eye. And it's going to look a bit weird because we've got greens on the top and it'll like really contrast and look a bit odd, but I kind of like that look. These are just to give you an idea as to how they perform. All the colours, as many colours as I can use. And this one I thought would be really cool with the greens, just to give it a bit of a weird look, because we know we like weird. Okay, so that is pretty much the shadow done, bar my inner corner highlight, because there is an inner corner highlight in this one. Oh my god, yay. So what I'm going to do is do my under eye concealer, conceal my face, and I'll come back, we'll finish off the eyes, and we'll just see how we're looking. Okay, so I'm all concealed, and yeah, so we're going to do the inner corner of the eye, and I'm going to use this middle shade here, which is like a white with a green tealy kind of duochrome to it. Very flaky, so I'm using a flat synthetic brush for this. Be very careful not to mash your brush into it too much, because it will literally pick all of it up. You'll almost scoop it all out. You just want to build it slowly. It feels like with these a lot comes out, but it's you have to really press it onto the skin. That's what I'm not sure about the pigment of these. Not the pigment, the application of these shadows, because they, I don't know, they're just a little bit more iffy to work with. Okay, so that is the shadows all done pretty much. I am going to go off camera. I'm going to do a little bit of liner on top, just a little winged outliner or something, I don't know, we'll see. Some mascara. I might use this, which is the Kiko Lasting Precision Automatic Eyeliner and Kohl in the shade 04. It's like this burgundy, so it might tie in quite well with the lower lash line and give me definition, but I don't know if I want it yet, so I'm going to do that off camera if I decide to. If not, I will let you know. But I'm going to do my liner, mascara. I don't think I'm going to do lashes today because my lashes are lifted. I've gotten a lash lift done, and I like how they look, so I don't know, we'll see. If I do pop lashes on, I will let you know which ones they are. And I'm kind of going to finish everything off, yeah, and then I'll come back to you in a sec. Alrighty guys, so I have finished off my face. This is the look all completed. I found it very hard to pick what lip I wanted to go with, so I don't know, we'll see how this kind of looks. Meh, I like it with the look. It did take me a long time to pick my lip though. So I'll just go through quickly what I have on the rest of my face. I did end up using the Kiko Burgundy liner on my waterline, just to give me a little bit more definition on the bottom. For my upper liner, I use the Bobbi Brown gel liner. For my mascara, this is one that I got in a glossy box. It's called the 5-in-1 Wonder Mascara. It's my current mascara right now, just because I wanted to use it all up. And then on my, trying to go through what I used. On my cheeks, I used the Benefit Dallas bronzer, just as a little bit of a contour, nothing too much. For my blusher, I used the Fenty Beauty matchstick in the shade Yacht Life, which is like a corally kind of colour. And then on my highlight, I have used the Anastasia? I don't know. Moonchild Glow Kit, and I use the shade Lucky Charms. It's got like a green duochrome, just to give a little bit of an interesting look to the face. And then on my lips, I use MAC's Boldly Bare lip pencil. It's just like a peachy nude. And then for my lipstick, I used, I don't think they do this one anymore, but it's a really nice corally colour. This is called Pure Vanity from MAC. It was part of the Vibe Tribe collection. So that is this. And then I added a bit of gloss. This is the Essence Hollow Wow Dewy Lip Shine gloss. It's like this kind of pinky orangey duochrome, but it's a gloss, so it's not as intense as you might think. Yeah, that's it. I didn't do any lashes because my own lashes look fine. I don't got liner on, so it didn't really make much of a difference anyway. So yeah, this is our finished look, so stay tuned for the next one. Alrighty guys, so let's get on to our second look in our 2 looks 1 palette, using our Huda Neon Green palette. This one we're going to do a little bit of a different one. So we're going to do something with this one, this one, this one, and this one. So these kind of 4 here, it's going to be more of a corally sort of themed look. Quite excited about kind of the idea that I have in my head. I've already got my foundation on. I use a very discontinued Catrice BB cream that just, it matches me now because I'm a little bit more tan, so yeah. I also used, my brow is the e.l.f. brow kit. This is in the shade Light, and I used just the powder from this just on my brows just to shape them a little bit. And then I primed my eyes already using my little Urban Decay primer potion. So let's get into this. The first thing that I'm going to use is the peach, the matte peach, this one here. Taking this on a MAC 217. And this is going to go, bit of fluff, get away, okay, there we go. This is going to go just on this outer corner here, just starting here. And then I'm going to bring that around into the crease. I'm using the clean side kind of closest to my lid, and then the coated side facing upwards, just so I can blend. And then just building that up. Make sure it's very softly blended. And then I'm going to take the same shade just on a little, I don't know where I got this, but it could be a paintbrush, I'm not even sure. And I'm just going to pop this just to the outer third of my lower lash line. We're really not bringing this in that far. This is only going in just slightly because we want to leave some space for some other colours along the lower lash line. Just make sure that it's really built up so you can really see it and it connects to that outer portion. So moving on, I'm going to start going kind of inwards as I go on my lid, and I'm going to take this shade here, which is like that, you would have seen it in the swatch at the beginning. It's like a very nice pink base with a green reflect. I'm taking this on a sleek, flat, synthetic brush. This is one of the ones that doesn't pick up as well, so I may need a glitter glue, we'll see, but it's kind of like the base is not as like foiled as it should be. Yeah, I feel like I'm going to use a glitter glue for that, and I'm going to take my, where's it gone? I'm going to take my NYX glitter primer. I'm just going to take a tiny little bit, and I'm just going to pop this onto the lid, just pressing it on my finger. I'm going to bring it right in because there's another shimmer that could act the same way on the inside, so yeah. I would definitely recommend a glitter primer for the shimmers in these palettes. They're just a different formula to the other palettes, so you know, they're a little bit more, you have to work with them a little bit more, so I think a glitter primer just will work a bit better for you. So I'm going back in, and we're just going to take that and just press that onto the center. It's a really, really nice colour, but the base colour doesn't have a lot to it, so you kind of just have to pop it on. It'd be nice over another shade, maybe over, like, put this maybe all over the lid and then press this on top, but I think building it up will actually give you a nice effect. And then I'm going to take my 217 again, pick up a little bit more of that peach, and just tap over where they meet just to blend the two together. Taking a teeny weeny little bit of the glitter primer again. I'm just going to pop this all along my lower lash line, not covering up the peach I've already put there obviously, but just for the rest of it that we haven't put anything. Again, just to help it stick. Like you can see, it actually turned out really, really nice on the lid. You just have to work with them a little bit more, and I don't know how people are going to feel about that. And then I'm going to take a Real Techniques, this is a lip brush, just a small little flat, also synthetic, quite stiff as well. And we're just going to get some of that same shade on, and we're just going to press this just in the center, so we're kind of mirroring everything on top. It's quite like springy and like fairy like. I quite like it. I do really like this. The next shade we are going to take is probably, a lot of people might have done this the other way around, but I'm going to take this kind of purpley, it's like a dark kind of base and then a blue and purple reflex to it. It's really, really interesting on the eye. And I'm going to take a Real Techniques detailer brush. It's like one of these kind of ones, and we're just going to press this on. Now I've already got the glitter glue down as well, so we have that to stick to. It's just a different place to pop this kind of colour, especially with this sort of look, and I kind of just want to see how it goes. I like my weird placements like this. I feel like it makes looks way more interesting. I like my normal placements too, don't get me wrong, but I I feel like with these sort of like 2 looks 1 palette, I'm trying to use some colours in the palettes that I really want to use, but they might not all go together, so I just try to make them as interesting as I possibly can. I'm just going to take a little bit on my baby finger. I find actually putting it down on the lid first works really well, and then go in with your finger and just press on a little bit more, just to kind of literally press it on. Gives you, I did that with the center, it gives you more impact on the actual lid. That's what I feel like these are lacking, they're just lacking impact. And then I'm going to take just this little teeny weeny little flat brush that I have, taking the same shade, just pick that up on one side, and we're just going to pop this onto the inner corner. I'm not going all the way in here because I do want to use one more shade, but just popping that just onto that little gap in there. Okay, so that is almost everything done for the eyeshadow. I'm going to do my inner corner in a few minutes. I'm just going to do some under eye concealer, conceal my face and all that kind of jazz, and I'm back in a sec. Okay, so I'm all concealed and powdered and all that jazz. I'll finish the rest of my face afterwards, but I just want to finish off my eyes, and I'm going to take the center shade again. It's the inner corner highlight of the palette basically. I'm taking this on an e.l.f. contour brush, but it's for like the eyes. The last time I used the smaller version of this synthetic brush, and I found like I was literally taking chunks of the eyeshadow just sticking on my eye instead of it actually going on smoothly. So I'm going to just try this brush and just see how this works. It might work, it might not, we'll see. I'm just popping that on this inner corner just to get it to stick. I'm just kind of buffing it in, really building it up, picking up a little bit at a time and just build it. Okay, so next on the eyes I'm going to take the Urban Decay Glide On Eyeliner in the shade Ultraviolet. I don't even know how this is going to look. I just want something to give me a little bit more definition, because it's not super, even the darker shade on the inner corner is not that dark. So I'm just going to, first of all, I'm going to tight line, because I don't know if I'm going to do any proper liner on my upper lash line. I do like the softness of it all, but I just want that little bit extra definition, so I'm just going to take some of this, just tight line. Yes, it's gross, I know. Okay, so what I'm going to do is going to leave it here for now. I'm going to go and do my mascara. I'm not going to do false lashes because my lashes are still lifted nicely, so I just want to leave them as they are. I'm going to do my mascara, I'm going to do my skin, I'm going to do my lip, and I may put some of this on. Whoa, out of focus. Hello. I may put some of this on my waterline, but I don't know if I want to yet, so we shall see. Why do I keep going out of focus? We shall see in a few minutes. I'm going to go do all that stuff. I'll let you know what I use when I come back, and you will see if I put this on or not. Okay, this is all done. I finished it. So I ended up not putting on the ultraviolet pencil on my lower lash line. I did my mascara first, and I was like, I can just add it in if I want to, but I decided not to. I quite like how just the definition on the upper lash line is, and slightly blue tone as well. So it kind of matches the inner corner part as well, so that's quite nice. For my mascara, I just use my MAC Extended Play mascara just on my top and bottom lashes. 2 coats just to really build up the lash. Then onto the face. For my concealer, I use the NARS. I use the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, and I also used a Collection Cosmetics Illuminating Touch Brightening Concealer. So I use this kind of everywhere under my eyes and everything, and I use the NARS concealer, just 2 little dots under my eyes as well, just because it's lighter, and I'm in the shade Chantilly in this, and in this I'm in the shade number 2. Right now I'm number 2. Normally I would be number 1 though. Then I use my Makeup Forever HD powder, the translucent one, and then onto my cheeks I used, let me grab my bits here, I used the OG NYX Taupe blush. Yes, I know it's discontinued, but I love it, and I've got about 3 of them, so I'm just going to keep using them. Onto my cheeks then, I used the Kat Von D Fetish Cheek Palette. This has got the highlighters in it as well. What are the highlighters called? Doesn't say what they're called, but it's a matte blush and then the really, really glittery highlighters that they do. And I used the shade Salem as my blusher, and then Magic as my highlight. So that's that. Really, really pretty, really, really cool. And then my lips, I was like, I don't know what to do. Should I go coral? But I did that in the last one, so I was like, maybe I'll go more the cool tone to match the kind of inner corner part. So I was like, let's do that because that just seems like more fun for me. So for that I used the MAC Lip Tensity lipstick in the shade Driftwood, which is like a nice mauvey nudie kind of colour, very pretty. And then over top I thought this would be quite nice. This is the Essence Hollow Wow Dewy Lip Shine, and this is in the shade Scarab Wing. So it's like a duochrome sort of effect, like a purple and blue and green. You can't really see. There you go. So I just popped that on top. It kind of deepened it a little bit as well, which I quite like. So yeah, that is everything I used on my face. Alrighty guys, so this is the end of our 2 looks 1 palette, using the Huda Beauty Neon Green palette. Like I said, this isn't my favourite of the palettes. It should have been my favourite of the palettes if it was done in a way that I kind of thought it was going to be done in. I just don't get these 2 bottom rows, and the shimmers are not the easiest to work with, but that kind of goes with all of them. All of the shimmers are similar enough, so I'll have to play around with the other ones. You'll see in future videos how they look, how they swatch, all that kind of stuff. I'll give you feedback on everything. But of those 3, this is one of my least favourites, and of the whole bunch, it's also one of my least favourites as well. So yeah, it's up to you whether you want it or not. When I seen it in stores, like, actually I'm just gonna get it. I want to try it. I like the greens that are actually in it, and the duochromes look quite nice. You just have to work a little bit harder with them. So that's all up to you guys whether you want to go for it or not. So yeah, in the next video I have coming up, I don't know. I don't even know when this one is going up. So yeah, that's just my life right now. I have a schedule going on, but I'm going to fit these ones in somewhere into that. Currently, if I don't procrastinate and if everything goes to plan, I should be doing 2 videos per week up until September. Yeah, I know. You probably already realised this because I've been putting up 2 videos a week, you know, since July. So yeah, that's a big deal for me. I don't normally edit that quickly. But yeah, if you did like this video, then give me a big thumbs up below. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the looks, which of the 2 looks are your favourite, and what are your thoughts on this palette. Not all of them, just this one. I want to know what your thoughts are on this palette. If you have it, or you've swatched it, or you just see the colour scheme and how it's performing for me, what you think. And also hit subscribe down below to see the other 2 neon palettes, and also more of these videos and all of my glorious 2 videos a week that I'm going to be doing soon. So yeah, I'll see you in the next video guys. Bye!